Hello, I'm David, and today I'm going to talk about Scrum at scale. The first thing that may seem a little bit counterintuitive is don't scale. Your initial move should be to accelerate your team's performance. However, that's not always the case, and it's not always appropriate because you may have large products you need to deliver over a short period of time. So the next advice is to look for a scaling model that gives you linear scalability. So the more you increase the amount of teams, it doesn't affect the amount that your teams get through. It's linear scalability, but also it's got the ability to adapt to your organization. So in our traditional team, let's draw it using a pentagon. You're going to have a Scrum Master and a Product Owner. And then you may need to add extra teams in with Scrum Masters and Product Owners. Now let's add another one in there. And what we have in the center is a Scrum of Scrums, dealing with the coordination of the teams. Now that's okay, that's on a smaller scale, but you can add in perhaps another team. With another Scrum of Scrums, and maybe even another team in there. Maybe a smaller amount of teams, maybe 3 teams with their own Scrum of Scrums. What we need is something to coordinate all this together. So really what we need to have is a Scrum of Scrum Master and also a Chief Product Owner. Your Scrum of Scrum Master needs to ensure that the teams are scaling up the events. Also, very importantly, is around to help remove any impediments that individual teams and individual Scrum of Scrums can't remove, and also and to deal with inter-team dependencies. The other role I'd like to discuss is the Chief Product Owner. They align the team's work. And they also make sure that the work that they're completing is based on the priorities discussed with the stakeholders. And as they're going through this, they also need to monitor progress of the product and against the overall strategic vision. So these two roles then can form their own alignment team known as the EATS, the Executive Action Team, that then support all of these other teams to remove impediments. And we'll go into more detail in this when we talk about the two cycles, particularly the Scrum Master cycle. So let's talk about the two cycles. We have a product owner cycle, which deals with the what of the product. We have the Scrum Master cycle, that deals with the how of the product. The first thing that we're going to discuss is the product owner cycle, and particularly the vision. So we start with a strategic vision, which really talks about the mission of the organization. It really helps people understand why we're building these products and why we exist. It gives people clear direction of what needs to be addressed. The next aspect of this is backlog prioritization. So when we look at backlog prioritization, what we're doing is trying to create optimum value and return on investment. We do this by prioritizing work that's of value, but also balancing it with risk and dependencies. Another element of the product owner cycle is backlog decomposition. See, the role of the chief product owner is to find features and initiatives that can bring the strategic vision into reality. However, they may be too big for teams to work on. So, what we need to do is decompose them and do further refinement, which allows better understanding and the team to be able to draw down work that they will then be able to bring into a sprint. Next up on this product owner cycle is the release planning, where we work with the stakeholders to understand their needs in regards to release, and also help the organization understand the financial implications of not hitting those deadlines. Bringing this whole product circle together, we need a forum where people can air their views for what's important to release. And we call that forum the Executive Meter Scrum. And what we're really doing is we're balancing the pros and cons of developing particular parts of the product and deciding on budgets and order of delivery. And we can do this on a sprint by sprint basis. And if we've got several teams working on different features or parts of the same product, we may have several meetings. So that's the product owner cycle. But now at the intersection of that, we have the team process. And this is Scrum, as in the Scrum Guide. So what we're looking for is high-performing teams producing quality work in a sustainable environment. The next element that I'd like to discuss with you is the idea of continuous improvement. Okay, and improvement. Which includes impediment removal as well. Okay. We really need to, like I started off by saying, we need to accelerate. Yeah, well, as teams go multiples, we need to continue that improvement. All right. And particularly, we need to focus on impediment removal, because if we scale impediments, then we're scaling waste. The next element I'd like to discuss is cross-team coordination. The goal is to collaborate and coordinate between the teams so that their processes are aligned. Next up, we have got delivery. The aim of delivery then is to deliver quality products on a continuous basis from integrated teams to give people a great customer experience. So what we need to move on to now is the team that coordinates this Scrum Master cycle that we've mentioned before. And this is the executive action team. And the expression is, they eat impediments. Consisting of the product owner, chief product owner, and Scrum of Scrum Masters, this team ensures that the Scrum events are scaled, that the Scrum values are being adhered to, and also they set up guidelines and processes for dealing with non-agile parts of an organization. Moving on now into the intersection. what we've done, in effect, is we've delivered a product increment. A part of the product that our teams have developed over the space of a sprint or a time phase as set out in the release plan. What we need from it really now, though, is we need feedback. So from the customer. As part of that, we're really looking for a few things. We're looking for, have our assumptions about the product been correct? How are the customers actually using the product and interacting with it? And also, really important is, we're going to mine them for any future development work or features that we could develop. And that's customer feedback. Importantly though, we need to know the state of play of our overall product development. So we need to keep metrics. And, importantly, feedback. What we're trying to achieve here is a state of play on the product and an honest understanding about where we are with its development. A different approach that we take with this is we create an environment where we recognise the benefit of impediment removal and being honest about the progress that we have made. So metrics and honest appraisals, feedback, are crucial to this so that we can understand the state of the art of the product and make data-driven decisions about future development. So that's it. We've looked at the product owner cycle with the executor meter Scrum forum. We've looked at the Scrum Master cycle with the executive action team. We talked earlier about not scaling, actually accelerating our teams. However, when you do need to scale teams, you need to be looking for something with linear scalability where your productivity goes up in line with adding extra teams, but also has the ability to adapt to your organization's needs and the needs of the changing environment. If you like what you've seen and what you've heard, get in touch.